nothing left to lose, leaves everything to gain. Oh, don't give up, don't give in. Oh no, don't give up. Hello again. I'm back for another update on my BMT adventures. I'm Joe. I ran out of time last time on the lead up to the transplant, and so I'll pick up where I left off, which was where I had a donor available and doctors agreed that I was ready to begin the transplant process. What was funny about that was the change in tempo for me. Up until that point, I kind of felt like things were moving in slow motion. I mean, there was a lot of waiting and hoping. But once I got a tentative green light, there was a little more waiting to see when the donor could schedule his or her procedure coinciding with availability at the transplant clinic for me. But shockingly enough, that date clicked in at just over 2 weeks out. And wow, suddenly we were seriously on our way. And then I felt like I was on one of those Olympic bobsled runs, you know, zooming along faster and faster and faster towards the finish line. I mean, it all moved so fast I could hardly take it all in. There was about a week and a half of additional tests I had to undergo to be sure I was fit for the procedure. And actually, any one of those results could have kicked me out or delayed things anyway. Luckily, I came through mostly unscathed, although I was a little sore from the bone marrow biopsy. But the results were good, and that was my final hurdle to a definite green light. I tell you, I was very grateful that both Johns Hopkins and my insurance company assigned transplant coordinators to my case. Those folks are fabulous, seriously. See, as a result, the headache of scheduling all those tests was handled for me. I just had to make myself available, which did mean stopping work about a week or so before I had hoped. But again, it actually worked out pretty well for the projects I'd been working on. But it still was hard to leave everything I knew and just step into the complete unknown. All right, maybe not the complete unknown, but you know what I'm saying. And so then anyway, Patrick and I packed up and moved to Johns Hopkins the night before I started the initial treatments. And we weren't in the Hopkins apartment right away. Our first 6 days were spent in a hotel next to the campus, which was good because I could still walk to my treatments. My first morning at Hopkins started really early with the placement of a new port called a Hickman. That was required because my existing Metaport was too small to handle the transplant infusion, so I was told. And slam bam, thank you ma'am, I got the Hickman by 10:30 and was at the transplant clinic getting my first day of chemotherapy by lunchtime. And yes, I said chemo. This chemo was not to kill off the cancer. We'd been working on that with, the other medication. I suppose it could also attack the cancer, but I was led to believe that this was to pound my immune system into submission so that the donor cells had a fighting chance to take hold. So there were 5 days of chemo prep and 1 session of total body irradiation for the same purpose. And on day 7 of the experience, also called day 0, I received the transplant. In BMT lingo, the day of your transplant is day 0. Days leading up to it are minus days, so my first day of treatment was called day -6, and every day after the transplant is given a plus number. When I had to move from the hotel into the hospital housing on transplant day. So it was a little crazy. But as fate would have it, I wasn't scheduled for the transplant until mid-afternoon, which was a happy accident. So that gave us time to schlep our things to our new abode, literally drop them in the apartment, grab some lunch at the hospital cafeteria and show up just in time for my transplant appointment. And we got through all that with only a modicum of angst. I'll admit, I did have a freak-out moment in the lobby of the hotel when my Uber app froze up when I was trying to book a ride, but once I rebooted my phone, things went fine. Struggling each day to make it okay is wearing me down. Doesn't feel right, I have to fight just for a frown. I know that feelings can be real, but they can be wrong as a steering wheel. I gotta bring a new song to sing besides the blues, the blues, the blues. Oh, I'm singing, don't give up when all you've got is a pile of trouble. Don't give in if there's nothing left to lose, 'cause nothing left to lose leaves everything to gain. Oh, don't give up, don't give in. Oh, no, don't give up, don't give in.